heard about freelance work and I just heard anything. So, okay, great. So almost everyone, that's great. Oh, wait, please keep your hand if you were thinking about starting freelance. So you were thinking maybe I can do it, or maybe I want to do it. Great. So I put the effort in this presentation, actually, especially for you, because I've been in this situation before. And please keep your hand if you're already working as a freelancer or contractor. Okay, so not many hands, but brothers and sisters, contractors, nice to have you here. So you can come or you can answer, give your tips maybe later at the end of presentation. So, okay, it will come probably, hopefully. I didn't touch anything. Okay, I'm going to continue speaking. I work as a freelancer more than 1.5 years, and now I already had 2 contracts, and I have owner of a self-employment entity in Netherlands. And before I was working around 7 years in startups and scale-up, which were using a contractor force for development. So I'm quite in a topic. I have lunches and coffee breaks, and I have some friends, and now I work like a freelancer. So I have something to speak. And let's start first with why my motivation was to decide to start a freelancer. So my last year as an internal employee, I was in the middle of the group 1 and 2 companies. Oh, actually, this is an article from the engineering manager from Uber, who made a really nice article about salaries distribution in Netherlands, but it's also applicable, I think, to Europe. Basically, I've been in this gap or intersection of companies 1 and 2, group 1 and 2, and I knew that my tax benefit will finish this year, so I will have a net drop this year, and I want to do anything. I want to do something with this drop. And I knew that I will not get any promotion in this company soon. And also I knew that in a short period I would not actually be hired by companies from the group 3 or companies from the group 2, which will give me kind of rise which will compensate this net drop. So if I would stay as internal employee, I would just have a drop in my income. And that's why the option about being freelancer was super prominent, and I decided to try it. So also, when you are a freelancer, when you have an entity, self-employed, it's quite easy work remotely, so you can work with any companies in Europe, in the world, in the United States, Japanese. When you're internal, that's quite complicated when you live in one country and want to work for a company which has presence in a different country. So things which I found when I actually started freelance. So I was prepared, I was thinking, and things which are must. So you have to pay for your vacations and the sick days. And basically the rule is that if you don't work, you're not paid. Same about, I said about sick days. So that's kind of a law. Then you have to pay BTV. So for example, if I work with a Dutch company, then I will invoice them additionally with BTV. And every quarter I have to send this money to the tax office and be prepared about this one because there are tight deadlines and you will be penalized if you miss them. So additionally, if you work in an environment where you work in sensitive user data, like medicine, insurances, banks, you will be asked for having liability insurance for the company. Basically, if you made a mistake or something and that caused a company damage, you have insurance to cover it. And last kind of must is kind of you're self-employed, you run a company, kind of, you're small, but still you have some operational stuff. And one of these is actually reporting company purchases, expenses, and assets. And this is also important because all of these costs will actually play in your favor at the end of the year. They will lower your income tax, so you will get you will be taxed less at the end of the year. And I forgot to say small addition. So my company is based in Netherlands, and some legal stuff is probably not applicable, at least in Netherlands. But I trust in the European Union and in the common sense. So I believe probably same laws across the Europe are similar. So nice to have. So I advise you to have a separate bank account for a company. You can still run use your personal account, but for clear money flow, it's better to use a separate bank account. Also, banks now so advanced that you can set up some automation, like saving a BTV to a different account at the end of the month. So doing some automation for you to ease you with the money flow. Also have an insurance for disability. So basically, like if you bike or have an accident on a ski vacation, this time you will not work, you will not be paid by the rule. So basically, having insurance is nice to cover this and keep your expenses during this time. So if you have a mortgage or something, so this is helpful. Also, when you're a freelancer, you will not get a pension. So, I mean, like pension is not guaranteed by a law in Netherlands. State pension, yes, but additional pension not. But many companies offer pension as a schema, as a benefit for internal employees. But when you are freelancers, that's not the case. So you have to think about the pension yourself. I would advise you also to outsource accounting, at least for first 2 years, maybe year, maybe 2. You have to pay, of course, for this service, but this will make ease of you for dealing with tax office, dealing with money, knowing some laws, and they will advise you some things like you might have some discounts because you just started. You might have some. You might submit some expenses which you did before, like I did purchase my table and chair before the pandemic, but I still was able to submit it as a running cost for starting the company. So basically, it was helpful. And yeah, not many people doing this one, but you can also pay your income tax upfront. You can send the tax office a statement about how much you will earn approximately this year, and they will send you IBAN number where you can send money like monthly, bi-monthly, yeah, whatever you decide. But basically, this money doesn't sit in your account. You're not afraid to forget or spend them accidentally, but you monthly, for example, transfer them, and that's it's a handful sometimes also. So things which might give you frustration. Basically, you bill your client, invoice your client at the end of the working period. So if you agree, if you're in a contract, it's bi-weekly or monthly, then you send invoice when month is over. And then guess what? People usually get paid by the due date, but sometimes companies forget to pay you the due date, so you have to remind them. And the law in Netherlands that they have to pay within 13 days from the due date. Before it was even 60 days, but be prepared. Sometimes they forget. That's people factor, and you have to have some savings if you not pay it on time. And be also aware about contracts are shorter for freelancers, so they might be. I mean, like average contract I think in Netherlands is six months, and if you're not lucky, you might get in the loop of getting a new job more often, which is, of course, at least for me, it's a stress. So be prepared for this. And the last one is dealing with recruiters. I mean, like they always here when you're also internal, but money-wise, usually company pays for recruiters when you're hired as internal. When it's a case of external, sometimes you have to pay a fee if you agreed. So talk about this upfront, or okay, so one more time. Or I'm going to continue talking. Sometimes recruiters even have a schema when they add extra on top of your hourly base. So you basically pay a recruiter while you're employed. Super kind of slide, not super, but many bullets here, but important, which I found myself when I started as a freelancer. They're of course also applicable for internal people, but I found some of them really more prominent when you work as freelancer, at least for me. So time management is important, not only like managing your time, but also tracking your time, because some companies are asking for time reporting. So for example, daily you have to submit to the system how many hours you spent. So this is bureaucracy which you cannot avoid sometimes, but luckily sometimes you cannot. You can. So for me it's not the case. I'm just reporting my time in every monthly, which is easy, but still at the end of the month sometimes in the beginning I was like, okay, how many days did I work, how many hours did I can bill and so on. That might be a hassle, so track this time. So important that imposter syndrome visits me, so there was nice talk today about this. What I found that this kicked me a bit more often when I've started as freelancer, probably due to high pay or due to more ownership or something like this. Also, you have to deal with your perfectionism. So I found myself that sometimes, like I'm doing the work. Yeah. So my feels like a I don't know. So, but let me explain. So like when I was thinking like, okay, so if I would be invited to the conference speaking about some technical topic, what can I say? And then I realized that last half a year I was doing just normal Jetpack, not composing, but just normal Jetpack stuff, so just new models and whatever. And yeah, it was like, so I have to learn myself that I should be happy about that my client is satisfied by my work. His users are happy about the app giving 5 stars, and I can go to vacation with my wife, so that's already nice. And I found myself also a bit greedy in the beginning, so I call it greediness. Maybe there's a nice based English word. Basically, when I saw my first invoice, I saw like I paid by hours, so I can probably work more hours, and then I will be even earning more. And especially if your client allows you to work extra, like overtime, so you tend to work more, you tend to cancel your vacation or delay vacation more, or you tend to say I'm not sick and just continue working. Yeah, still remember about working life balance. So you don't have to earn all money in the world. Just fraction of this is enough for happiness. And last 2 points. I found that working as a freelancer, you tend to make less risky decisions. I think it's also appreciated by clients. You don't introduce any kind of new architecture or something, and you're kind of, like when you leave the company, it's not brain breaker for someone to actually continue where you left. However, it's not a breaking point, so you can continue still doing this one, but be more wise about speaking with people what you want to introduce. And this is still same for internal, but I found thinking about this more when you actually as a freelancer. And the last point is in networking. Networking is always important, but when you're a freelancer, this is usually the main source of your next contracts. And the colleagues which worked before might invite you or might remember you, might reference you if they enjoyed working with you. So, and also keeping a loop with local freelancers where the new tips and new laws coming. It's nice to be in a loop and have some community talks. So, there was more slides actually, but I was thinking, okay, so I'm talking already too long, so I want to also look on the future. So, like, okay, is a freelance a dead end? So, it's like I'm going to start to freelance, so I paid so quite high, relatively high salary. Like, okay, so should I relax and just continue always freelancing? And yeah, so like for myself, important to think about the golden cage situation. This also happens for internal people often. You need to find a solution for this. You need to find kind of reasons when you feel it, what to do with it. So be aware about golden cage situation. But in general, looking for freelance is not like that. And I know a lot of freelancers who joined companies in the second slide, number 3 bucket to number 2 bucket. So they switch back from freelance to internal. And I also know a number of freelancers who worked as a freelancer for the company, but then later they switch for internal because they want to continue where they like the company and they like the people. They want to continue work they were doing there. So basically, yeah, you can do whatever. So it's just a step in your career. So the last slide really, not last, but okay. So I was thinking like, if my wife will wake up me and say like, okay, so would you recommend to work as a freelancer? I would answer, of course, like, Darin, are you sure it's a good reason to wake up me? Thank you. But actually, yes, I recommend it. So I think it's a nice option to try. You will have like, you will have to run your own company. You will have to own it, so you need to do some kind of operational stuff, which might scare some people. And same time, you have to again work on your brand. You have to work on networking. You have to work on your soft skills. You have to work on technical stuff as well, because if you don't have something to be interested for the client on the technical side, you will be not hired. So I would say, and you also paid well. Of course, there are some uncertainties, but yeah, I would recommend to try freelance at some point. So that's it. So I put my handle, Twitter handle. Yeah, feel free to contact me if you have questions. And we still have a time, I think. So if you have any questions, yeah, there's a couple of microphones, so you can come here, we can speak about it. So thank you.